Chapter 18, 22nd of September to 12th of October. Couple of thousand kilometres heading down from Astana, seeing a bit of Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. Flying back from Seoul into Astana, just one night there, and then we started our 1,000 kilometre trip down from Astana to Almaty, fraught with issues around Balkhash, where the police stopped us on the way up. Solid line in the middle of the road in Balkhash. We know if we cross that to overtake, we get our licence taken away for 6 months. Well, unfortunately that didn't stop us getting stopped 3 times. The third time I was in a police car for an hour negotiating prison, 6-month ban, or eventually an admin fee. Very relieved to get to Almaty, which used to be the old capital of Kazakhstan, and we headed up to the mountains in glorious autumnal tree colours. It's also a ski resort here, and very helpfully it snowed for us. Really pretty, just like Christmas. Then back to Almaty to chill for a bit, even had a Marks and Spencer's there, and then it was time for back on the road. Right, Monday the 30th of September. And we are driving out of Almaty to go to Charyn Canyons and then a loop around Issyk Kul. Taking about 10 days, it's beautiful weather, and that will take us to our 6 months on the road mark. Blimey.
Charyn Canyon claims to be the second biggest canyon in the world after the Grand Canyon. It is about 50 kilometers long and 12 million years old. Beautiful coloured rocks, home to golden eagles and groundhogs, though not sure they like each other very much. We loved it there. So stayed the night in an eco lodge to see the stars, and then up at 5 a.m. to see the sunrise.
At this stage we were at the southern part of Kazakhstan, quite close to the Chinese border, as well as Kyrgyzstan. So we drove along the Tian Shan mountains, where there are many more horses than cars, as the state of the road shows. Very pretty area.
So we jump out of the landy and onto a horse, my first time, and went to see Lake Candy. This candy has an eye in the middle of its name and was formed over 100 years ago when a landslide blocked the rivers. Old spruce trees remain there like masts of sunken ships, giving it a ghost-like atmosphere.
Having camped the night, we then set off into Kyrgyzstan across the border, into traditional farming, though not totally sure what tradition this is. Kyrgyzstan is a beautiful country though, lots of mountains, sometimes known as the Switzerland of Central Asia, and about 7 million people live here. Relatively poor, relatively rural, no oil or gas but some precious metals, but a huge opportunity for tourism. And we went to the capital of the area, Alakol. Really liked Alakol. Suncor Hotel was excellent, Giraffe Cafe next door was excellent, but we couldn't just stay there enjoying ourselves.
So our next stop was a short drive to Jetty Augurs to see the red rocks. And then back to Alakol with the glorious Tian Shan mountains in the background.
There are some serious trekkers in this part of the world, and one of the most popular routes is up to Alakol, which a number of people said was quite difficult, whereas what they really mean is don't do it. first challenge was driving to the start of the hike, which was described by fellow overlanders Dennis and Teresa as a worse road than the Pamir. And by crikey, they were right.
After a 3-hour shake and slide drive, we got to the start, opened up camp for the night and adopted a guard dog. This one we named Goldie.
This is an 11-kilometre hike up to 3,500 metres, meant to take 8 hours. We thought we'd go round to the right, but no, we ended up going over the top.
The lake was beautiful, but what goes up must come down.
That was one long, tough, steep hike. It took us 12 hours instead of 8 in the end. Got to spend another night in the landy, and then bumped into Isabel, who we gave a lift back to Alakol. Sunday the 6th of October, and we have a new guest, Isabel. Isabel, what did you think of the trip?
Well, it was great. I'd like to take all of my trips lying down.
Great to meet you, Isabel. And the next day we went on a magnificent 3-hour horseback ride arranged by Jonathan and Sol at Shepherd's House. Highly recommend them and highly recommend this little trek. Well, we'd had a great impression of Karakol, and I'd accidentally reciprocated that with my big foot. And then it was time for us to go to Lake Issyk, or Issyk Kul as it's called, starting with Fairy Tale Canyons. Weather was really turning to autumn, and we managed to find a terrific place by the side of the lake to reflect on what became 6 months of travelling. We can now call ourselves overlanders, but we bumped into someone that'd been in a truck for 20 years, so we're very much at the amateur end. Still haven't really got the hang of the drone, but we've had a cracking 6 months.
As we often say, after 30,000 kilometers, the land is still working and we are not talking. Sorry, we are still talking. Huge thanks to friends and family for all your support. We miss you and can't wait to see you next year.